Here we go. We're going to continue on in our voyage of the unit circle. So today we're going to talk about the reciprocals of sine, cosine, and tangent. You know them already, and you probably love them. So don't forget, a reciprocal is a number that when multiplied with the original number is 1. Most people just know to flip that numerator and denominator. This means if a problem asks us for cosecant, then we have to do the reciprocal of sine. Secant is a reciprocal of cosine, and cotangent is a reciprocal of tangent. So let's do these problems here. Now I'm going to assume you have your unit circle memorized, and if you don't, it's time to get it memorized, okay? Or you're going to not like today. So 315 hits us right here. Our reference angle is 45 degrees. We know that at 45 degrees, it's root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. But I went to the right and I went down, so this one's negative. And then we know this is cosine and sine, and our tangent is sine divided by cosine, so it's negative 1. Now we want cotangent, right? So we know we are going to flip that right there. Well, the reciprocal of negative 1 is negative 1. Done with that one. Cosecant 120. So 120 lands us here. We have a reference angle of 60. We know at 60 we are at 1 over 2, root 3 over 2. But we went back and we went up, so this is negative and that's positive. Now I'm doing cosecant, so if it's cosecant, I'm going to flip that right there. So if I flip that, we've got 2 over root 3, and when I rationalize, 2 root 3 over 3. Done with the cosecant of that one. All right, so we've got secant of 330, so that ends up being right there. We have a reference angle of 30 degrees. We know at 30 we have root 3 over 2, 1 over 2, but we went to the right and we went down, so this one's negative. Secant means you are going to flip this one, the reciprocal of this one. So we have 2 over root 3, and when we rationalize that, that's 2 root 3 over 3. Ta-da! All right, so it's really important you know your sine, cosine, tangent, obviously, right? Now we're going to get into radians. People like to freak out about them, but don't freak out. So 1/4 of a pi lands you here. Reference angle is pi over 4. I don't change stuff to degrees. I assume that you can handle radians. So you should be able to handle radians. Like, you shouldn't be wasting your time changing it to degrees just so you can think in degrees. You should know that pi over 4 is 45 degrees, boom, off the top of your head. So this is going to be root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. It's up, it's to the right and it's up, so they're both positive. This is cosine sine. We're doing cosecant, so we are going to flip our sign. So 2 over root 2 is 2 root 2 over 2. And then when you cross out your 2's there, you get a root 2. All right, secant, 7 pi over 6. So this is 1 1/6 of a pi, so 1 1/6. Reference angle, pi over 6. You should automatically know pi over 6 is 30 degrees, boom, like off the top of your head, just letting you know. So this is going to be root 3 over 2, 1 over 2, but we went to the left and we went down, so these are both negative. And this is cosine and sine, and we're doing secant, so we're going to be flipping our cosine. So 2 over negative root 3 equals negative 2 root 3 over 3 once you rationalize it. If I'm going too fast, you have the power to pause me, and I really highly suggest you rewatching it until you can get as fast as me at this. Practice and watch, practice and watch, practice and watch. Cotangent of 3 pi over 2, well, 3 pi over 2 is a crazy one, right? It's right here. You should know off the top of your head that's boom 270. But if this is a unit circle here, which it is, we have 0, negative 1. This is cosine and sine, which tangent is sine divided by cosine, so our tangent's undefined. Realize how we got the undefined, right? We did negative 1 divided by 0. So cotangent is the flip of this. So if we flip that, that's 0 over negative 1. Which is 0. So know that the reciprocal of undefined is 0 and the reciprocal of 0 is undefined. Okay? And you could write out the long way like I did there. Let's do this next one. So I view this as, let's see, 4 goes in there 2 3/4 time. So we go 1, 2, and then 3/4 of the way. Reference angle then is pi over 4. We know at pi over 4, it's root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2, but we went back and we went up. So that's going to be negative. The sign's going to be positive. It's secant, so we want to flip our cosine. So this is negative 2 over root 2. And then when we rationalize, negative 2 root 2 over 2. And then when we cancel that out, negative root 2. All right, cotangent of pi. So this is here. That's negative 1, 0, and that's cosine sine. Remember, tangent is sine divided by cosine, which is 0 here, but we want cotangent. So we want to flip this. So negative 1 over 0 is undefined. Again, the reciprocal of 0 is undefined, and the reciprocal of undefined is 0. So we're going to do cotangent of this one. So this would be cotangent, this goes in 1 and 5/6 times. So we've got 1 and then 5/6 of a pi, aka 5/6 of a 180. So my reference angle here is pi over 6. You should already know pi over 6 is root 3 over 2, 1 over 2. And we went to the right and we went down, so that's negative and that's positive. But we're doing cotangent, so don't forget that your tangent here is negative root 3 over 3. Remember, if you get stuck, just do sine divided by cosine, all right? And let's see, so we want cotangent, so we want to flip this. So that's negative 3 over root 3, so negative 3 root 3 over 3, so negative root 3. That's it. So all we're doing is we're taking what we know from the unit circle and we're doing the reciprocals of it. There's really nothing else to it. Until next time, goodbye.